Accord, yes?
Yes, just go to the customer first department.
Oh yes, good morning, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. What it is, I'm trying to reach the gas admin team.
Right, what's it in regards to?
I've made a phone call last week. I spoke to somebody called Gurpri. He was put me in touch. He put some notes on the system. Do you want my details?
Yes, please. Look at the first line of your address.
Yes, it's...
Yeah? And your name, please.
Bless you.
Right, and it was in regards to speaking to the gas admin team.
Yes, please.
Let me just have a look at the email that was sent over. Right, it was in regards to the letter that Caden sent to yourself.
Yes, that's correct. What it is, I was waiting for a response, you see, from the gas admin team, but they haven't phoned me back, you see, so I'm having to ring back up again.
Right, yes, I don't think there was a reply that was given. Let me just ring through to them if you just bear with me.
Yes, thank you for your help today.
Thanks, Alden. I've just spoken to the gas admin team, and there's not much we can do on our end. It does say that there's an electric boiler on the system, and the person in the gas admin team, Ellen, advised that there's no reason that Caden should be contacting you in regards to the property being in danger due to gas, the gas meter being removed.
Yeah, that's...
The only gas item that's in the block, presumably, is the commercial boiler. Everything in the flat is all electric.
Yeah, I know this.
Engineer come out to your property?
I've got the video of it. And so this is the problem I've got here is like, I wouldn't have contacted you, so normally I'd open a complaint into this with yourselves, but I've already got a complaint with Accord that's gone to the Ombudsman, and I'm just waiting on their decision. And I know you can't have two complaints running at the same time, but this is...
We can't raise a complaint against Cadent. Cadent are a completely separate company.
No, what I mean is... No, what I mean...
They're like National Grid.
Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying is I've supplied them with a gas safety certificate that has been supplied to me by you, and what they're saying is this gas safety certificate's no good. Now, if my gas safety certificate's no good, then everybody in this block safety certificate's no good, and that is your problem, really.
Why are they saying it's no good?
Yeah, look, if you could just like, I'll read to you just a section, just this little bit, if that's okay to you. This is what it just says. You have explained that you have provided a copy of the landlord, that's you, homeowner's gas safety record, as evidence that the visit was not necessary. I know that the comments on this record read no gas carcass, no gas meter. However, the purpose of the visit is to inspect the gas pipe. Even though we understand the comments on the gas safety record, we cannot accept this as evidence that the gas has been inspected and complies with the appropriate regulation. And according to that statement from Caden, which are masquerading as the National Grid, they're saying that gas safety certificate's no good. Now, if my gas safety certificate's no good, then everybody else in this block is no good, and that is your problem.
And when was it dated?
The 11th of February. This year.
An engineer from Status came out and did a full check.
I don't know about Status. I'm saying, I'm only telling you what I thought.
You're under contract for the electric boiler and the gas boiler in the building.
There's no gas in this property, is there? There's no gas here, and this is the point I'm trying. I know there's no gas here, you know there's no gas here, and these are saying that I'm a gas danger. I don't know how that works, but I've sent them the gas safety certificate that you've supplied me, and I've just read to you what they said, but I'll read it again. We cannot accept this as evidence that the gas has been inspected and complies with the appropriate regulations. Well, the appropriate regulations are done by your housing association, who supplied me the gas safety certificate. So they're basically saying that this gas safety certificate's not valid, and we both know that it is, don't we?
Yes, so if it was supplied by ourselves, it would be you'd need to speak to Cadent and find out exactly what's the...
I have supplied them with a subject access request. I've got a complaint logged with them already, but the problem I've got with Accord Housing is they're saying that this gas safety certificate's not valid, and you're the ones who've provided me with the gas safety. And I'm like bringing court action against these, and if I'm going into court with a gas safety certificate that they're saying that's not valid and you're saying that it is, I need some clarification that this gas safety certificate is as valid as what I think it is.
Who was it that sent it out?
Say that again, sorry.
Who was it that sent it out?
Cadent? What do you mean?
The gas safety certificate?
You did. You provided me with a gas safety certificate to call housing.
Who signed it at the bottom, or who provided it?
I don't have it in front of me. If you give me a couple of minutes, I can probably find it.
Yeah.
Could you just hold the line for 1 second and I'll...
Yeah, that's
I'll find
fine.
it. Yeah, sorry, I weren't expecting you to say. Hang on a sec. One moment, please. I'm just getting there. It just says gas operative signature, and it's a scribble. It looks like a D something. Then customer's signature, which is not my signature, but it's dated 26th of the 4th, 2019. Reference. Is that any help?
26th of the 4th.
Yes.
Does it have it? Does it mention status at all on the letter?
Yeah, it says status. It does. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I have checked it out. It does say status. Yeah.
Right. If you just bear with me, let me just call through to status.
It's got a gas safety register number. Would you like that as well?
No, they should have a record of it on their system.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so if you just bear with me, let me just call through to them.
Okay, no problem.
It's not an actual gas safety check certificate. It's just confirmation that there's no gas, or there's no gas that's been reinstated, or no gas meter that's been reinstalled.
So I am a gas danger then?
So they don't do their gas safety checks as
what
the gas there.
So this piece of paper I've got...
attend every year just to confirm that there's no gas that has been reinstalled or reinstated. So that's not an actual gas safety check certificate because there's no gas there.
So this is not valid then?
No, it's valid as in to confirm that there's no gas at the property. There's no gas at all.
But Cadent is saying that it's... I've read it to you. It's saying it's not evidence that there's no gas. They're saying that this is no evidence. You've just said that this is evidence that there's no gas.
Yes, it should be evidence that there's no gas there.
Well, see, the problem I've got is, I've got conflicting things, haven't I? And, I know that you're from customer first, but I thought I'd be speaking to somebody from the gas admin team who would be calling me back, you see.
The gas admin team can't do anything in regards to it. They're separate. It's the status who are the gas contractors.
So, who's correct then? Are you correct in what you're saying, that there's no gas, or is Cadent...
Status have been out. There's no gas at all. The last time they went out to confirm that was on the 24th. They go out every year just to confirm, and at the bottom they said there's no gas carcasses and no gas meter.
It's on your system as no gas. I know there's no gas. You know there's no gas.
Yeah,
but
surely if the engineer come out as well?
We cannot accept this as evidence that the gas has been inspected.
Has a Cadent engineer come out?
What it was, a Cadent engineer came out, but first of all they rung me, and I've got the recordings. I'll just, this phone call is recorded as well. I phoned the company. They sent me a letter saying that they were sending a gas engineer. I said, there's no reason to send a gas engineer. There's no electric here. There's no gas here. I've got a gas safety certificate to say there is no gas here. And they said, okay, just send the gas safety certificate. So I sent them that, thought nothing of it. SSE decided to take me to court under the 54 escape of gas warrant. I managed to get that stopped because there was no gas. Then I received a visit from this engineer called, I forgot his name, Keith Martin. I've got the recording and the video and everything. He came and he said that he came without absolutely no authority to come here at all. Because the first time they asked for my permission and I said, no, there's no need, I'll send you the gas safety certificate. The second time he's just turned up here saying I'm a gas danger. And I've got rid of him by saying, you don't have any access, you've got no right to be here, there is no gas, I've got a gas safety certificate. And then he went away, and then I made a complaint to Cadent. I've sent them the gas safety certificate, and this is the letter they sent. I've opened a complaint with them, and I've got a subject access. I'm going with them.
What was the reason that they contacted you in the first place?
Cadent.
Yeah.
Because this is the problem, is they said that this property had a gas meter removed. from this property 9 months ago, which was a complete lie because I've lived in this property for 3 years. There's never been no gas here at all, and they're claiming that
they need to provide evidence of where they've got that information.
That's what I'm doing at the moment. That is what I'm doing.
They told me that these were removed quite a while ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I've done it. They've ignored it. This is the letter. This is the deadlock letter from Cadent that I'm reading you from. So like, I'm taking this to the Ombudsman and I'm trying to take it, I'm trying to bring a civil case against the person who's responsible for this, you see. But basically the bottom line is I've got a gas safety certificate here that they're saying is not valid and you're saying is valid. Now, like I said, if this is the case for me, then everybody in this block, his gas safety certificate's not valid, isn't it? It has to be. Why? Because
that is the certificate for the block, as it mentions at the top, block 6 of 2.
I've explained this.
That particular block.
See, what they did as well is, I know that number 32 here has got gas. I think it's the only property here with gas. And what they did with the gas safety certificate, they put 20, which is on this letter here, when on my gas safety certificate it goes 22, which I thought was a bit suspicious. And the problem I've got with, I haven't made a complaint with a court or anything, but basically I need some clarification to state that I don't have any gas here, because
clarification, that letter.
It's not, is it? Because listen, I'll read it out to you again. We cannot not accept this as evidence that the gas has been inspected and complies with the appropriate regulation. That's a letter from Cadent, and they're masquerading as the National Grid. So I'm guessing their powers supersede your powers, if that makes sense. So they're saying I'll read it again to you again, we cannot accept this as evidence that the gas has been inspected and complies with the appropriate regulation. And that really is a problem for accord housing, because if my gas safety certificate's not valid, then everybody's in the same situation as me. We're a gas danger. And that is an accord problem. And I haven't made a complaint with you because I just want some clarification or something to say that I don't have gas here and I'm not a gas danger, because I'm not, am I?
The problem is that is clarification.
But they're saying, do you want me to read it to you again?
That is clarification.
Yeah, I know it's clarification.
The letter read to myself via email.
Yeah, I know it's clarification and you know it's clarification, but look, we cannot accept this as evidence.
But you'll need to speak to Cadent directly.
I have spoke to him, I've got a complaint with him. And so like this,
after you received that letter?
No, this is the dead. I mean, I'm only reading you one little bit from this letter. I mean, if I can't get any help from you, so I'm going to have to instigate a complaint. I don't want to instigate a complaint with a court, but I need to get to the bottom of this, you see. And what it is these are taking me to court, saying that the gas safety certificate's not valid, and we both know that it is. And so on, and these are condemned. This is the National Grid. They're saying that that's not evidence of that I've got no gas here, and we both know I don't have any gas here, do we? You can't take me to court for the 1954 Escape of Gas Act when I don't have any gas. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's a little bit more sinister than I've told you, like, but they're now saying that the gas safety certificate that you've supplied me from Accord Housing is not valid. And that allows them to take me to court under the 1954 Escape of Gas Act. And I know you don't think it's a court's problem, but it is, isn't it?
It's quite difficult now because they've informed me that it's valid, and that's the last check they did.
Exactly.
Engineer's been out.
So this is what I'm saying. I know that it's.
You need to ask them why it's not valid.
Well, they've deadlocked their account. They won't talk to me. They've deadlocked my complaints. They've ignored me. They won't provide me with information. I've provided them with a subject access request.
They need to provide you with that information if they're willing to take you to court over it.
Listen, let me tell you, I thought that or not. I've provided them with a subject access request with the 2018 DPA regulations. They've ignored that. And if they can ignore, I'm reporting them to the ICL at the moment. I'm just waiting for them to get back to me on Friday because I'm already reporting them to the ICL, and they won't provide me information when I put a subject access request. So what do you want me to do?
You'll need to call them again.
They won't talk to me.
You need to find a way to get them to speak to you in regards to why it's not valid.
They won't speak.
Just send me the same form of the gas safety record.
Well, all due respect to yourself, like, this isn't a court problem. They won't talk to me because they're a corporation.
We haven't received any letters from them. We haven't been informed by Cadent. We have nothing on the system in regards to any communication from them to ourselves.
Exactly. So where did they get the authority to come out? Which is a good thing because I didn't give them the authority and they need your authority. And you just said they haven't contacted you, so they didn't have your authority either.
I have nothing on the system advising that.
No, I know. I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming the court housing. I'm not blaming you or nothing. All I'm trying to do is get to the bottom of this. I've got a real problem here where they're taking me to court. They've tried to do it once and they're going to try and do it again now under the guise that I've got gas here. And I'm asking the court for help with some kind of this, because they're saying if my gas safety certificate's not valid and that, then you've got 32 other properties here that are gas danger, according to Cadent. And that is a problem for you, isn't it?
Well, we haven't been informed of that.
No, you haven't been informed of that, but I've been informed of that, and all I'm trying to say is...
I'm advising you that this is a correct certificate. There's not much more I can say on it.
Yeah, that's why this is why I'm going to have to open a complaint. I don't wish to open a complaint, but I need to get to the bottom of
complaint
this.
against what, Cadent?
No, against yourselves.
For what?
Well, for providing me with a gas safety certificate that's not valid.
They've advised me it is valid.
Yeah,
and sent it over to myself. You need to ask Cadent why it's not valid, because I've been informed it is valid.
To me. I've tried, they just hang up on me now. They just say it's deadlocked, they won't talk to me. This is what I'm trying
to speak to them if they're sending you individual letters.
Well, you've said that about 4 times now, and I've told you they won't speak
I know,
to
but
me.
this is a difficult situation in terms of their
This is
only
why I need to open a
you.
complaint to get to the bottom of this. I've got no problem against the court housing for this. I don't, but I'm
Yes,
saying...
but we're going in circles where we're both saying the same things now. And I've advised you that they've sent me the letter, which I can see on my system right now, advising there's no gas.
Yeah, I understand that, but you've got the National Grid saying that that's not evidence. That's what
You
you've
need to
got.
ask why it's not evidence.
I've just explained this to you. They won't speak to me. They've deadlocked the account. They won't provide me the information with a subject access request. So the only thing I can do is make a complaint with the court housing and open an investigation to this. I didn't want to open a complaint. I just thought the admin team was going to investigate this. I mean, I'm still speaking to customer first, and I understand your position, and I understand that you've done what I've done, but they're not accepting that. So somebody, and I've got to go to court with a document that they're saying that's valid, that's not valid, and you're saying that it is valid. And they're the National Grid, so they outrank you when it comes to gas safety.
Until we know why they're saying it's not valid.
Exactly, so the only thing I can do is open a complaint with a court so you can get to the bottom of it. Because you have to contact them and they'll have to speak to you because you're a corporation. They won't talk to me because they just fob me off.
I've received any communication from them.
No, but you won't. That's why I need to open a complaint if you're not going to help me, so you have to do it. You'll have to provide...
So all you want from this call is to open a complaint?
No, I don't wish to open a complaint here. What
Who do you want to open the complaint against then? Accord or Status? Because Status are the ones who are providing the information to me.
Yeah, but you're my landlord, aren't you? And my understanding is you've got a duty...
Right, Accord Housing is the landlord, yes, we own the property.
So you've got a duty to have it.
Every year.
Well, you've got a duty.
Status are responsible for the electric boiler that's in the property.
Yeah, but you're responsible. You're responsible for there being a gas safety certificate, not Status. Accord are.
It wouldn't be a gas safety certificate. There's no gas at the property.
I know that, and you know that, but Cadent don't know that, and they won't accept it, and they're going to be taking me to court again pretty soon under this. They're going to be doing this again to me. They're going to be applying for the 1950, not Cadent, but SSA, because the only way they can do it is to take me to court under the Escape of Gas Act. And
so you can't raise a complaint against something that an external company said to yourself?
Yes, that's true, but the problem is bottom line is this simple, this is the law. Accord Housing are responsible for the gas safety certificate here, they're responsible for it, and you provide...
Send a message over to Status, over to the surveyor, over to the supervisor in regards to what's happening.
I don't want to open a complaint. I haven't got no problem.
It wouldn't be valid for a complaint, is what an external company has said.
Or do respect, you can't stop me opening a complaint.
There's a policy with our complaints.
There's a policy, yeah, but...
Complaints team would assign it to somebody at Accord, but it's Status that need to be involved in it as well.
But that's fine, but all I'm saying is...
So I need to send a message over to everybody who's involved.
I don't wish to open a complaint. What I wish to do is I wish for some paperwork from you or somebody just saying that there is no gas here.
We have provided paperwork.
Yeah, but what have I just told you? They're saying that it's not valid. We don't accept this as evidence. That's what they're. It's not me. I'm not trying to be awkward here. I'm just trying to tell you what they're saying. And look at it from my position. I don't have any gas here. You know I don't have any gas here. I know I don't have any gas here. I have a gas safety certificate that says I don't have any gas here. But I've got Cadent saying that the paperwork that I've supplied them is not valid.
The admin team have told me that you need to contact Cadent directly.
Well, that's
They have provided the information.
and I've explained this to you. I can't contact Cadent because they won't speak to me. They've deadlocked
If
my
they're opening
complaint.
a case against you, they surely have to speak with you in regards to it.
Cadent ain't opening a case against me. SSE
But
are.
they're taking you to court.
Yeah, SSE are, not Cadent.
So, what was that letter from Cadent, or was it from SSE?
No, what it is I've got a complaint. SSE have tried to take me to court under the 1954 Escape of Gas Act. I've already stopped one warrant. I've had it withdrawn. I've got the evidence, the recordings. I've got. Like I said, this is not my first complaint. I've got a few complaints. I know how to handle complaints. You know what I mean? And I've got everything I've got is documented and recorded. And I've got SSE trying to take me to court under the 1954 Escape of Gas Act. That's a criminal offence.
For what?
For a monetary issue. I've got a complaint with them over money, and they've took me to court for a criminal issue, which is the 1954 Escape of Gas Act.
You're calling in regards to the Cadent letter?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm calling in regards to the fact that your gas safety certificate is not valid. That's what I'm calling about. That's the letter I've got here that I'll provide yourselves.
Who was it that signed the letter at the bottom from Cadent?
It's one of the area managers, because I went to one of the top guys. I'm going to say I've got his name.
Have you spoken to them previously?
This is Michael Lapper. This is the area manager. This is not some. I've gone through all of them. I've gone through about 4 people trying to get to the area manager. I've got a phone call recording of it. I'll provide it you as evidence in my complaints. Like, you know what I mean? I've got all the evidence, and he's just. He won't. You can clearly hear him saying he won't provide me the evidence on the phone call. One of the first guys that I spoke to hung up on me. Just hung up on me because he couldn't answer the questions. I mean, this has been going on for 9 months now. 9 months this has been going on for, and I've been having all this harassment. I'll even read this bit from the bottom that it says, this is from the letter. Clearly, disputes with other companies are outside Cadent's remit. For absolute clarity, I can confirm that Cadent Systems received information that a gas meter had been removed based on Cadent correctly sought to undertake the safety inspection of a gas safety pipe. I cannot pass comment on your suggestions that another company has misused a legitimate industry protocol with deliberately intention of causing harm and harassment with unwanted visits from Cadent, and that's exactly what's happened. And they're saying that this gas, all based on that gas safety certificate that you've provided me, not being real, not being valid. And that's the problem I've got with Accord, and that is your responsibility. That is Accord's responsibility. You've got a duty as a landlord to make sure this property's safe. And I know that. And that goes.
Provided the information, so I'm not sure what they want at this point. That we can't provide a gas safety certificate as there's no gas at the property. We've provided a certificate advising there is no gas at the property, so we need to find out what exactly that they want.
Well, they won't speak to me. That's what I'm trying to log a complaint.
They need to speak with you if they've sent you this letter directly.
Telling them that
they need to speak with you.
They need to, yeah. But the problem is they won't. They need to speak with me. They won't even provide me with a subject access request. You know what I mean? They've even stalled me, and I put a subject access request in to find out who provided it. Do you know what they sent me? A recording of a phone call that I've got myself. That's the only thing. That's the only paperwork that supplied me in the subject access request. I've already complained to the guy about it, and I'm reporting them to the ICL for not providing me this paperwork. I'm already down this process. They will not speak to me, and this is the letter from the area manager.
You need to ask for them to send it to us.
They won't do that. They won't speak to me. Every time I try as soon as I give them, they just hang up on me now. They won't. They're just saying.
If they won't speak to you, how do they expect you to provide any information to them?
That's a good. It's that bad. I've gone to the company called ExcelServe. I mean, this is how bad it is. The company that they said they supply this information from is a company called ExcelServe. Right? This is a company that they've said they've had this information, and this is a letter from them. I'll just read it to you quickly. We acknowledge this is ExcelServe. This is the company that they say they've been provided this information. We understand that we'd like copies of any information that ExcelServe holds about you. ExcelServe is the central data services for the GB gas industry. This means we store and manage various data items on behalf of the gas industry. We do not verify the data and information we handle. in its role as the provider, acts as a data processor for its customers and is not authorised to generally release the information it holds. We are only able to respond directly to you. We have been instructed to do so by your gas supplier, and we currently do not have this authorisation. So even them won't honour a subject access request. So how would you expect me to get any kind of information from these people? That's a letter saying we ain't going to honour your subject access request. That's quite bad, really, because under the 2018 DPA regulations, you have to provide me information that's held on me. And I'm just getting letters like these saying we don't care about the DPA regulations, we ain't giving you information. So how do you? And I can't speak to Cadent, I can't speak to Exoserve, and now you're telling me I can't speak to you.
It's not that you can't speak to us. I've just told you several times. I've spoken to Status. I've spoken to the gas admin team.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
The gas admin team actually told me to tell you to go back to Cadent.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Cadent won't speak to me. This is the.
They need to speak to you. They want you to provide certain information. They have to speak to you.
Would you be willing to make a phone call to Cadent and tell them what you just told me?
Well, we don't have any of the letters. We don't have any of the reference information.
That's why I wish to open the complaint. So you have to speak to you. I'm not trying to be awkward here. I know you're getting a bit angry with me because I can hear your voice getting.
The problem is, if I send this complaint over, they're only going to send it back to me.
Then I can just take it. Somebody has to give me information. Somebody has to verify this gas station certificate. Is it valid? Is it not valid?
It is valid.
Well, then why are they saying it's not?
I don't know. That's why you need to speak to them.
How many times have I told you this? They won't speak to me. They won't talk to me. I've told you I've got a deadlock letter here. I've just read from you from a subject access request reply. They won't supply that. I've sent them a subject access request. They won't honour that. They won't honour a subject access request. Do you think they're going to speak to me? They're not.
Well, all I can do, I can't raise a complaint against this as it'll only be sent back to myself advising it's not a complaint as it's a separate gas safety issue that's with an external company. I can send a message over to Status. I can send another message over to the gas admin team, but there's not much they can do on their end as they're the only ones who really authorise jobs from.
So can you clarify now?
Send a message over to the surveyor included and ask what's going to happen with it, but it's without Cadent speaking to us directly and without us being provided with the information.
So you're telling me now on a recorded phone call you're not willing to hear a complaint or to pass me through to a manager or somebody else?
Right. Well, I haven't given you permission to record the call.
I don't need you, but I've already got a complaint with Accord House. You might want to talk to somebody about the complaint. I've already got a complaint.
I can't see a complaint open on the system.
Just tell me, it doesn't matter if I can record anybody for any reason. I've already got this issue with your company already. Speak to some people there about the complaint that I've got with them. I can record anybody for anything, the same way as you can. It's got nothing to do with that. You've done nothing wrong. All I'm saying is you're telling me, if you think you've got the authorisation to tell me that I can't make a complaint, then I'm telling you now you're wrong.
It's not in regards to making a formal complaint. You're asking to make a formal complaint in regards to the information Cadent has given you.
No, I'm asking to make a formal complaint by saying the gas station.
And I've spoken to Status and they've told me it's valid. So you're asking me to make a formal complaint against a person saying that they're lying, saying it's not valid, because that's what Cadent has told you. Cadent haven't given us any information. So all that the complaints team are going to do is go to Status, and Status are going to say that it's valid.
You sound like you're
all they're going to say. So rather than making a complaint, I'll need to send an email over to everyone involved.
Well, how about if I speak to everybody in this block and explain to them that their gas safety certificate's not valid?
It is valid, then you're giving them information that Cadent has told you, but you're saying Cadent won't speak to you.
Well, what can you supply me? What can you supply me without me?
All I can supply you is the information Status has given me, which is the letter you've already got.
And you're telling me that I can't make a complaint? Is that what you're telling me on a recorded phone?
I'm advising you that if you
I want to make a complaint.
I'm going to go over to the complaints team and they're going to ask Status, who are going to give you the information that they've already just given me on this call.
Yeah, well, I'll have it. What it is, I want the paperwork, you see. So when I go to court...
Paperwork for what?
This is going to court, you see. I'm going to court and I'm taking this gas safety certificate to court. You're telling me it's valid, they're telling me it's not. You won't give you, and that's what I'm saying. So the only way I can do it is to open a complaint, to make you talk to Cadence and you pair sort it out.
I can't guarantee that they'll speak to Cadence.
Well, you'll have to if I open a complaint because you'll have to investigate.
No, I can't guarantee that they'll speak to Cadence.
I can take this.
If you're saying that the gas safety certificate isn't valid.
No, I'm not saying that. They are. I think
the gas safety certificate.
I'm pretty sure it is valid.
And status will advise them of the same thing they have advised me.
Yeah, but you'll have a trail of paperwork, you see, and that's what I want, the paperwork.
But I can't guarantee that Cadence will be contacted. That's something I can't guarantee right now.
You'll be able to get the paperwork. So that's what I want. I want the paperwork, you see, for court, just to say, but what I'm saying is correct. I'm saying that this gas safety certificate that you've provided me is valid. They're saying it's not. Not you. I know it's valid. You know it's valid. I know there's no gas here. You know there's no gas here. So why are they saying that there is? It doesn't make sense, does it? Why are they saying? Why are they going out their way to prove
right.
that
If all you want to do is make a complaint, I'll send that over.
Well, I'd need some details, please.
Details about what?
Well, and you've got to connect me to who's dealing with the complaint.
We would raise it on the system.
Well, obviously I'm going to.
And it would be sent over to the complaints team.
No, see what it is. I'm going
to receive a letter of acknowledgement within 2 working days. It'll then be assigned to an investigating officer, and they have 10 working days to investigate the complaint and get back to yourself.
So I'll be getting an acknowledgement within 2 working days. You can confirm that.
An acknowledgement letter.
Yeah, that's what I want. Thank you.
Unless the complaint is sent back to myself advising that it's not a complaint, you should receive an acknowledgement letter
anyway,
in 2 working days.
Well, I'm just going to write in anyway. If you fail to address the complaint, I can just report you straight to the Ombudsman without even having to go through the complaint. So that's what I'll do. This is not my first rodeo. I've already got a complaint logged here. When you hang up from here, speak to somebody about my complaint. And I've already got a complaint going to the Ombudsman already with yourselves. I didn't really want to make a complaint. I just wanted to get to the bottom of this. You forced me to make a complaint.
I haven't forced you to do anything. You called up wanting to make a complaint.
I didn't phone wanting to make a complaint. I phoned up wanting to speak to somebody from the gas admin team about this who failed to call me back.
No, the gas admin team don't have anything to do with it.
The gas admin team don't have anything to do with the gas safety. Well, see, what was I spoke to a guy called Gurpreet, and he said I forwarded this to the gas admin team, and they'll be calling you back.
To see if they can advise at all.
He said they'll be calling you back. You see, he said that on a recorded phone call that they'll be calling me back, and they didn't call me back. I'm not being awkward. It looks like I'm trying to be awkward, and I've got a problem with you. I haven't. I'm just trying. Look at it from my position.
Right. Well, I've advised you that I'm going to raise a complaint on the system.
Yes, please.
Your best contact number, the one you're calling from.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'll send all that over, and dependent on whether it's sent back to myself or whether whoever it's assigned to, they should contact you, or you should be contacted about it.
Well, I'll be contacted. What day is it today? It's fair. I'll be contacting you back on Monday if I haven't received an acknowledgement.
You should receive an acknowledgement letter within 2 working days after it's raised.
I've actually got your complaints procedure. Yeah, I know. What I'll do is I'll if I don't receive it in 2 working days, I'll be calling you back. Okay.
Alright, well, is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that's great, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Just the complaint and then send me the acknowledgement and I'll take it from there, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Bye.